Hi everybody, welcome to North Star Knife Reviews. I'd originally planned to review this knife in a week or two, but I started thinking and decided that I could use this to do some Thanksgiving prep, test it out, and be able to tell you whether or not I'd recommend it. And so I did that, and with Black Friday coming up, I can say that I definitely would recommend this knife. It might make a great gift for somebody who likes to cook. This is the Rough Ryder Sous Chef. Take a quick look at the knife. We've got on here about a 4-inch cutting edge. The knife itself is about 9.5 inches long, so you've got a handle that's a bit over 5 inches. Now, as I said, I'm going to talk about the technical aspects, but I really like this knife. It really worked well in the kitchen, and so I can recommend it. Now, quite honestly, I am probably not going to use this in my kitchen all that much because I have a lot of chef's knives, cooking knives, and I like the fixed blades in the kitchen. But I think this would be good for a camping knife for food prep, or if you have somebody who might want a folding blade in the kitchen. That would be great too. So let's take a look at this in a little more detail. Okay. We've got a very nice looking knife. Got a little lanyard hole. The handles, I believe, are micarta, although I may be wrong on that, but I believe they are. You can see stainless steel pins, stainless steel bolster with the typical Rough Ryder logo on it. We have some threading, okay, dual threaded bolsters. Take a look at the back spring here. A tiny bit of gapping, not too much. Looks quite good to me. This is a lockback, which is definitely a plus on something that you're going to be using for food prep in the kitchen. You've got the handy hole here, makes it very easy to open. And there you can take a look at the blade. This is in 440A, which is a perfectly serviceable steel for kitchen knives. You're going to find this type of steel or something equivalent on a lot of the higher end knives that you have in the kitchen. Now, this is a Santoku style blade, although it's smaller than a traditional Santoku knife would be. They usually run in the 6, 7, maybe up to 8-inch range. And the difference between a Santoku knife and a traditional Western chef's knife is that on a traditional Western chef's knife, you've got a curved edge and you rock the blade to chop. On a Santoku style blade, you've got not quite a flat edge, but very close with a little bit of a rise. And a Santoku style blade is meant to cut with a slicing motion like this, or an up and down chopping motion. Now, traditionally, a Santoku style blade is going to be single bevel, meaning it's just sharpened on one side and the other side is flat. That creates a very fine, sharp edge and is very good for doing things like sashimi or sushi prep, cutting fish very thinly. This has a more modern style double bevel edge that you're going to see on Western knives and a lot of the more modern Santokus that are meant for Western kitchens, meaning this is beveled on both sides. Not quite as fine a carving tool, but still a pretty good slicer. Now you'll also notice these little divots. This is a Granton style edge. Now it's not a true Granton edge, and I'll get to that in a second. But the purpose of this, you've got these little divots cut into the edge of the blade, and these create tiny air pockets so that when you slice, these air pockets mean that food releases from the blade more easily. And a Granton edge is very good for cutting soft or wet foods. Again, fish that is delicate, soft cheeses, vegetables like cucumbers all work really well with the Granton edge because they release from the knife more easily. Now, I said this isn't a true Granton edge, and the reason for that is the placement of the divots. On a true Granton edge, the divots alternate from side to side, so they're never across from one another. And the reason for that is it makes a stronger blade, because you never have a part that's really, really thin. Now on this, as in a lot of more inexpensive knives that have Granton edges, the divots are directly across from one another. That's a lot easier to manufacture, but it does make a bit weaker blade. Now on this knife, it's relatively small. It's not meant for heavy duty use. I don't think it's really going to make a difference for most people, but you should just be aware of that. Now again, I really like this knife. It is exceptionally sharp. It worked really well in my kitchen. If you are looking for something that would be a good Christmas present for somebody in your life who does like to cook, who does like to do food prep, I think this might make a great Christmas gift. Again, you can get these at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They're inexpensive. I think they're about $15 or $16. I don't know off the top of my head, but they're somewhere in that range. I definitely recommend this. I really like this knife, and I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you feel like it. I will see you next time.